Hello there. You are my most watched streamer on Twitch recap. I appreciate that. This haircut? Thanks. But to be fair, I could do with brushing it. It looks like bruisers are gutted in the preseason. What do you think is going to happen to the meta? I think it's definitely going to shift. It's hard to tell what exactly will be the best, but in my opinion, AP itemization is getting a big overhaul. Tank itemization is getting better. Definitely they're nerfing bruisers by removing Gore Drinker and Sunderer, but I think that's a good thing. How was my Christmas? It was pretty good. I mean, as in today, it wasn't anything special, but I celebrate Christmas on the 24th because it's my birthday, so... But the 24th was pretty good. Today was nothing special. I haven't seen play much Riven. She's great in solo queue, I just don't play her that well right now. She's a champion that requires a lot of, how do I say this? She needs a lot of maintenance, I think is the best way to put it. If you're not diligent with practicing her, you will suffer in a lot of matchups. And I'm not diligent with playing her because I haven't really been playing her much, so... And in general, like, she hasn't really been on my radar up until now. What I think about Aurelia? Same thing as Riven. Can be great, but requires maintenance. Depends how well you... Like, how good she is depends on how many hours you put in and how good you are at the champion. 2 games off hitting diamond for the first time. Thanks for the streams. They help plenty. Good luck, man. I hope you get there. Do you like the Syndra Orianna meta? Oh, I don't mind. I mean, thinking competitive play, it's one of the more skilled metas, in my opinion. I think Syndra and Orianna are both champions that are extremely strong when they're fed, but in a competitive setting, they aren't really, like, hyper dominant, I think. Oh, hyper low counterplay champions. Like, there's other metas where it feels like there's much less counterplay. But obviously you have to draft champions that are good against them, and those aren't, like, there's not too many of those, but still. I tend to play a lot of champions that are quite good against them, so. What did you get, your girlfriend? I didn't get her anything. I was thinking of something, but I didn't jump, so I'll get her something in the future. Rumble first pick. Oh, well, I don't mind. I want to get Aatrox games in anyway, so I'll just play an Aatrox game. Get her an LCS championship. Well, it's more for me than for her, but yeah. It'd be nice to win. This matchup's pretty tough early game, so we'll see if I can survive. Generally speaking, once I get some levels though, it starts getting better. Rumble is so oppressive early. Yeah, he's the strongest top laner in the game by a landslide right now. Extremely strong. Like, his early and mid game spikes are still really, really high, and then late game, his ultimate is one of the best team fighting ults in the game. I could choose him level 1, it's good though. We'll try. His Blood Moon splash is so beautiful, it doesn't belong in League. Plenty of splash arts that are really, really, really good. I would disagree with the notion that it doesn't belong in League. Damn, if Alistar skilled Q, I feel like that would have been a pretty good fight. Well, I guess it worked out. The Lucian flashed over and got greedy. I'll try and take push. Honestly, I think Rumble just needs ECD reduction and then some attack speed shaved off of his passive and he'll be a fine champion. I do think nerfing Q is like IMO necessary too, but I'd let it slide if they didn't. If they gave his E like a, 9-second cooldown or something per recharge, I think that would be reasonable. It's just simply too low of a cooldown right now. Like, look at how many he spammed. He can literally keep his heat up pressing just E. And I mean, he hits me with Q for half a second and I lose 150 health. Which is obviously also IMO, not okay. He's using Q on very high heat here. This is my opportunity to crash the wave. Oh, he overheated. Nice. So far, he's managed his heat very poorly. I shouldn't have gone for that hard trade. He's almost gonna kill me here. I'm gonna try and get him to bounce the wave back with pressing Q on me here. Unfortunately, he's not managing his heat very well at all. He's using his spells extremely liberally, which is good for me. I don't use my Qs in the big wave here unless he uses his spells. Like right now I can fish because the wave also reset, but for the most part, I'm happy having the wave bounce to me and just catching. I don't want to fight too hard here, unless he keeps his heat that high. Then I do want to fight. The reason why, if he keeps his heat this high when I'm this high health, he can't kill me. Unless he like hits all his auto attacks, and I can just kite that. But when he's lower heat, he can just chunk me with the first set of cooldowns, and then he can all-in me on the next, and he just beats the shit out of me. Because my cooldowns are much longer than his, so you want to manage your heat in a way where you're staying below 60, basically. Oh, that's a kill. Not much you can do unless he he went for the Zinzao there. She didn't flash in time. Time to recall. Nice, that was huge. I was gonna flash the Bel'Veth W if you threw it at me, but she didn't, so I guess I just get to live. I'd say this is almost always a Gore Drinker game. A bit sketchy to do full AD like this. Considering I don't think he ignited me, but I'm about to hit 6 and he has no flush, so there's a good chance I can one-shot him with this much AD. Every time, basically, he has his heat above 100. That means he can only use 3 spells. If he's above 120, he can only use 2 spells. That's how you should be looking at Rumble. So whenever Rumble is using his spells and he's above that heat, it's really good to look for fight. It's your best timing, basically. 130 means he has only 1 spell right now. 190, 90 is 3. Oh, up to 4 if he uses his E properly, because it resets itself, so keep that also in mind. Alright, he ulted the wave, time to let it crash. I can base here, I can stay one more and push. I think I'll push this next one and then I'll decide what to do. If I can get this wave and I get Phage, there's a really nice spike on Aatrox, because it works in his Qs, so just gives you a lot, well, not a lot of extra healing, but over the course of an all-in, with how your ultimate works, it increases all sources of healing, so it's quite nice actually. He has swiftness, which makes it hard to hit Qs, but also, to me, like right now, if you go swiftness, instead of like actual raw damage, like Oblivion Orb or Hextech Revolver item, like Hextech thingy, whatever item. What is it called? I'll find it. That pretty much concedes the lane, I think. He's down to farm, and if he's down to farm, I'm down to farm, because I scale much better. Especially this game, they're all melee except for Lucian, and that's a short range champ, so my champ just in general, this game is really strong. He ignited before he died? Oh, well. I wasn't sure. When you go swiftness boots, the bigger reason it's a big deal against Aatrox is because it makes it hard for me to yank the chain on my W. That's worth. He has no ult to reset the wave right now. So if I use my ultimate to chunk him, it's already in a good spot. I can't all in kill him unless he plays aggressive anyway, because like I said, with swiftness boots he can just play to run away from me. I don't have flash to kill him, I don't have anything. A lot of action happened bottom side and Bel'Veth wasn't there, that usually means Bel'Veth is top. Well, Ashe made it very easy for me to tell, but I wanted to crash this wave and run anyway, so... We're chill. I'm gonna ward this Herald here, because if she does it alone right now, I can kill her. She probably doesn't want to do it yet, because she needs level 6 to get the true form. But it's still worth looking. Getting information now and then continuing to maintain my push top will translate into getting it eventually. I want to plate here because that'll speed up the timing I get my Gore Drinker, which is obviously a huge spike. When he overheats like that, you can play much more aggressive. So this way if I crush, and then I'll go by Gore Drinker most likely. Unless there's something to play for topside, I'll slap the Herald. So Gore Drinker, so we can do our top camps whilst it's warded. Cast it in his priority mid, and my mid jungle is really strong, so basically with this in consideration, I feel confident to take a recall by my Gore Drinker and then come late to the fight, because they can stall time / even win by themselves without me, because they're really strong. If they're not so strong, I could stay and hit the Herald with my jungler and keep Prio top, but buying Gore Drinker as soon as possible means there's a longer period of time within the game I have my strongest spike. Look at it this way, if I do this wave and then I move Herald and then I stay for another wave, for example, and that's 45 seconds that Rumble doesn't have to lane against Gore Drinker. Whereas the sooner I base and go by it, the faster I make him have to play against Gore Drinker. And this item changes my champion significantly. He had to flash that. I was contemplating flashing, but if I hit that Q2E, then my Zinzao is thinking he's on his way, so... Or if he flashes the Q2E. Then I know Zinzao is coming to finish him off, so... I was pretty confident to just let him flash it, and then we're fine. He also used his ult during the fight, so he can't deny me. He can't deny us the minion wave, either. I just want to recall here. Yeah, it was flash actually, I fucked up pinging. Yeah, it's flush. Wow, I didn't reach. Makes me sad. He was too zoomy. This time he's expected it, so I went for the flash, but he was fast as fuck, so he got out that damage. Yeah, Aatrox has a lot of damage at level 9 when he has the spike. This is generally the strongest point of the game. Q is your only damage skill, really. Well, obviously R makes it better, but... If he sidesteps towards my Alistar, then he gets comboed. Probably a bit of a throw there, honestly, but worked out. I think it was a bit too much, especially with the way the fight went. I think if Silas moved, he could have cleaned up a few people. Like, in general, if they were all there, you know? I took too much damage for free from Lucian. Flash after all. And if Bel'Veth and Rumble both roam on me, there's a chance they kill me. Oh wow. I didn't QE there because I didn't realize she had a dash angle. Really nice arrow though. Time to recall. Can you explain Rumble Heat Manage more? Basically, Rumble's cooldowns are so low that in an all-in, you're gonna get 2 spell cooldowns off anyway. Like, there's not many top laners that deal enough damage to kill you before you get 2 spells off. In fact, I would argue there's literally 0. Because your cooldowns are relatively low, especially once you start leveling up Q, right? With enough points in Q, you start dealing enough damage. Like, you basically enough points in Q down to 6-second cooldown, and your E is a 6-second cooldown, right? So, the point is over an all-in, which, let's say it would take... I'm gonna give you a random estimate of how long an all-in would take, right? One sec, let me kill this guy real quick first. I didn't make it over the wall. Oops. Oh, he's running this way though, so... My ECD is too low with Trojan, so I can just chase him like this. So what I was saying is in an all-in as Rumble, because your W cooldown's low, your Q cooldown's low, your E cooldown's low, you should look at it this way. You're gonna get 2 spells in an all-in regardless. 2 spell rotations. 100% guaranteed, nearly, right? So when you are above 50 heat, how many spells do you need to overheat? 20 per spell, 5 spells. You can maximum cast 4 spells as Rumble. Because, assuming you have 2 stacks of E within those 6 seconds, you can't really cast more than that. It's not possible. So the argument is that you stay around 50 heat, ideally on 50 exactly, because you want to cast 4 of those spells, almost overheat, but not overheat. Chunk your opponent really hard, and then you want to overheat. One moment, let me finish off the fight here. That is the idea, basically. Because then you overheat on your next set of cooldowns. And because of the way Rumble E works, you can cast the E with a grace period. So you can cast E, overheat, and then when your second stack of E comes online, you can cast E again. But that's even like inconsequential again. It doesn't matter because the point is, above 50 heat, your spells deal 50% more damage, or something bullshit like that. It's like 50 or something, I think. So you want to get 2 50 Fury Qs off instead of no 50 Fury Q. Oh, Fury, sorry. I'm talking about Renekton here. Wow, I got ditched. I came to help him and he just fucking ditched me. I'm sad now. So let's say you deal in an all-in and you overheat first, and then you use your second set of cooldowns, right? And you will deal, I don't know, let's say 1000 damage. Now, because assuming that both sets of our cooldowns will deal, well, our first set of cooldowns will deal 50% more than after, because again, that's how Rumble works. I didn't, you know, choose that to be the way. You want to stay below that heat, because if you overheat first, then your second set of cooldowns is going to be low heat instead of high heat. And if they're low heat, you deal 50% less damage. So instead of doing 1500 damage, or, you know, let's say 1250, you deal 1000 damage. The difference isn't massive. Because again, like, well, it's pretty massive to be honest. It's 50% of your damage, you know? Like, losing out on 50% of your damage because you're just not really understanding how Rumble works, or how the current Rumble works. Because in the past, Rumble was different. Because you couldn't spam spells and get the right heat fast enough. Like you can now. Now he actually doesn't mind overheating. The problem is if you overheat, you're like at the peak of your strength, absolute peak, and then after your overheat, you're here. Whereas if you stay high heat, you're like not at the peak of your strength in terms of single target damage, but the only difference between overheating and not overheating in terms of damage output is simply whether you can auto-attack your opponent or not. Because if you can auto-attack your opponent, you can get the max health damage from the basics. But if you don't get the max health basics, there's no difference between queuing above 50 heat or below. Thank you for the 2 months, Fanatic Dude. Thank you.